Hello, friends. My name is Rage Panda One, and I also didn't expect to see me here today, but here we are. I am logging into some friends' accounts just to help them decide what they want to do with their teams. Yeah, sure, we like your game. No, we're not going to rate it. That's what we're not going to do. We are going to turn on live chats, as per the usual. As per the usual. Let me get my Discord back into the right spot. And I'll leave it to somebody like Snagga to hopefully, put a little Discord link in there. Okay, we are on Giuseppe's account. And Savesu, I'm going to be doing yours next. I just happened to be logged in on this one first because I had to log in on it. Luis, hello. Giuseppe, hello. Snagga, hi. Snagga, don't be offended that you didn't get a hello. You only got a hi. There's nothing. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. I promise. All right. One of the problems that we're seeing here is that we have a bunch of people still leveled up, but we don't have the male water and sun maxed out. I would probably try to max him out. Someday I'll give you permission to add everyone. You should have permission. It's just telling you that you need to confirm it because it's a lot of people that you're doing an at. You should have permission. Alright, so we've got this female Lionstone that we love. We love her. She's amazing. She does not have good traits. That is for sure. I am not a fan of her traits. But she is level 19 ambitious, which tells me that you've been leveling up to 22 traits on her. And I can see that that used to be a strategy, but I'm not sure that I love it anymore. If I were you, I would put a favorite on the ones like this that you are probably going to be using more. Do you not even have her mythic? Bruh. Bruh. This cannot go unpunished. This cannot go unpunished. All right. We found a bigger problem. Can I have permission from you to give her mythic level? Because you literally within 2 weeks of having your account at a maximum should have her at mythic. You are very near. And I think you should finish the job. Agile's an amazing trait, and getting a trait farm out of these is extremely important. Extremely important. And I know that marriage is tricky. So maybe I can... well, I did just make a new updated guide for that, which will hopefully help you. All right, let's look at her. What are her traits saying? She's got honorable. That's good. Like, she's got relatively tanky traits for a start. Not too bad. You got her ultimate not leveled up enough. That's for sure. But if we look at her, and we look at hers is level 12. So do you see where there could be a disconnect here? If you're investing more into her. And then let's look at the gear. We probably should be leveling some of these up. We shouldn't be this far into the game and still probably be even using an orange equipment. I'm surprised that there's not a different one here. And maybe it's because you put the better ones on the other characters to test. I'm not sure. But that's not ideal. That is not ideal. No, you don't need level 22 traits. You don't need level 22 traits. Everybody's going to tell you that you need level 22 traits, and some people are going to say to do it first thing. Those people are very provably wrong. I get why they want to do it. I understand why they think it's better, but it's just not true. It's another situation like if you're reading a statistics sheet and you leave out an important piece of information and suddenly the statistics look very scary, or maybe they look like there's no problem at all. But really what you're doing is you're giving up a lot, especially in the early game when you don't have a lot of resources and you're making a lot less resources. You're giving up so much district gold by pumping all of that intimacy into her instead of maybe summoning for a better team, but more likely getting your other district champions leveled up to Mythic so that you can produce them and have them be really strong. So with where your account is at, I'm not sure that I love the district numbers that I'm seeing, and that's why we're going to poke in here, have a look at what we got. Savesu! Thank you, buddy. Thank you. What is it? Donske Kroner? Do I remember that? The Donkey Kong marks? Alright, so here's another problem that we're having. You can see that this lady here, I love it. I didn't adjust any of that. I didn't plan on going live. But thank you again, Savesu. You're the best, buddy. So we can see that this 10-star, which is not a huge investment, only level 380, right? Over 4,000. We should be putting that in every slot because you're about to be able to just put them in every slot. You're about to be able to do that because we're going to make the female Trevane mythic. And here's the thing. The male Trevane's even stronger than the female. So these districts could be really, really pumping for you, and they're not, because I bet you if I go look at these champions, they're not going to have Noble or Confident married onto them. So the longer that you keep it that way, the more money that you're losing. And it gets to be a lot real fast. So that's something I would be careful about. Now, it's not all bad news. I see that you're leveling these up by 5s, and that is definitely what you want to be doing. So you're doing that perfectly, and you're doing them in the order where you're doing the cheapest ones. Oh, here comes the fart parade again. The old fart parade. Savesu's too happy is what he is. He's too happy. I don't know why I think it's Savesu. It's probably Snaga, but... but I just feel like it. Okay, so our companions then, let's look at who is actually at the mythic level. It looks like we're not really doing that much at all, except for here with the Lionstone. And while that's not bad, it's not terrible, her trait can be useful, it's much more expensive. Hey, Snaga Panda! Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. It's not the worst, but you literally would already have level 22 traits if you had done that on this character. So, and you literally could just probably go to level 22 traits right now. You have so many materials for this. I'm not saying that you have to do that. I'm not even saying that I think that that's necessarily the best plan. I would definitely get her to Mythic immediately. And then I would also get her to Mythic immediately. And then you can fix 2 of your districts, like, pretty much instantly. Now, the Trevanes aren't the single best person to put in their district of question, but they're still better than most and worth doing. So there's bigger problems there than what we're talking about, because I don't know how I'm gonna be able to do any marriage if you don't have the mythic copies, you know? I can't use any of these. So let me see what events you have going on right now. Let's see what we've got. Charm and districts. It's not great that it's like that. Oh, we should check on charm. If you're not using your intimacy, you're probably not using your charm either. Oh, no. Oh, no. My friend, we've got work to do. Okay, so the way that I like to do this is not always the way that other people like to do it. But I do not... I think it's a horrible idea to wait until the intimacy event to put the 900 intimacy that you need to get her mythic. That is a glaring problem on the account right now. You need to be able to marry traits. And I'm going to teach you how to do it. I know it's daunting and it's a little confusing sometimes, but you need to be able to do it, and I am going to teach you how to do it. So I think that we should try to get traits on your most important people literally right now. Like, we should just marry traits onto a person. I don't know if that's going to take too long, but But I think we should do that. So what we're going to do, we're in a charm event now, so you should just be blowing all of this. We want to go as cheap as we can go to keep moving. But since you have so much, I'm confident we can go to the 500 mark and not have it be a problem. So we're going to just crank that Soldier Boy all the way to 500. And this is also increasing your district yields. I don't even want to look at the carousing. I don't even want to look at that. I think that what's happened here is you have decided that this portion of the game is annoying and you don't want to deal with it. And I can respect that, but it's important. All right, how many of these do we... Oh my God! Mate! All right, we're setting up a macro. We're just fixing this. We're just fixing this. That's what we're doing. My day has changed. I'm gonna... All right. I don't want to stream that long because my voice hurts from yesterday. But we're fixing this. All right. Okay. That's where we're at. At least we got some of it going here. I think I can safely take her to 1K. We'll pop some of these ones. You can't neglect all of the annoying parts, even though they are annoying. And I don't blame you. They are annoying. It is true. And I like to do it perfect, and there's no reason to do that. And that's why I hate these ones that give me a random amount. So annoying. Oh, you lucky son of a... I wish I had this. I tried so hard. I'm kind of done trying. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep going, but I feel like I need to be doing my intimacy as well. That landed on a round number, so we'll do it. We'll do it that away. Yeah, give it to me. And this also means that you haven't been doing your... what is it called? Celestial bonds. And we need to do those as well. Very important. Another one up to 1K here. I hate that they're a gamble and you don't get to see it right away. It's so annoying. Why you do this? Goat Games, why do? Why do? She's also not bad to get into a mythic state, but you're at the point where you need real district champions, and you need them now. I probably could even be going to the next level after this. Come on, am I so boring you gotta fart on me? Am I that boring? I must be. I must be. Alright, I went over on that one, so we're just gonna take her. Somebody started farting in my ear, and I got distracted. So we're gonna take her higher. But obviously, I think we're gonna be able to do that just fine without any problems whatsoever. It's the only free one? I can't believe I've done this. I should know my viewers better. Maybe I'll go in and adjust that for you at some point. But that point is not... And by the way, I have a video that's uploaded right now that is unlisted currently because I was in the middle of making a thumbnail for it. When I decided, to hell with it, I'll just go live. So please remind me when I'm getting off of the stream that I need to actually publish my video and make the thumbnail and stuff. Otherwise, it's just going to sit there and not be a video. And we don't want that. We do not want that. I'm actually taking her all the way to 1.5k as well. I think all of the 1 and 2 stars can easily go that far without a problem. And then we'll see. And keep in mind, if you're doing this on your own account, you can scroll this over and it just keeps going. So don't think that you're done when you get to the 1.5k, because you're not. And I don't know if we'll reach that point where that's important or not, but we might. We just might. Alright, next. We'll take her up to 1k. We'll use these. Why not? Just to be different. Just to switch it up. Alright. So I'm not trying to be hard on you. I know I'm talking about a lot of issues here. And none of this stuff is easily spelled out for you in the game. And most of it is very frustrating to deal with, especially the first time around. So, I'm not hating. I'm not hating, but we do gotta do it. And you're very lucky, and you're very lucky that I'm just in a mood where I'm fine with doing this. I don't know why. This is not something I'm gonna normally do for people. Maybe I'll start a service. The Rage Panda 1 account cleaner. It does... I'm so jealous of all the resources you have, too. There's just so much here. Sylvester knows. Actually, if somebody just sends me a DM right now about it, I will probably get that after. Anyway, and then we'll be good. So that would work out just fine. Just fine and dandy. Satisfying? I don't know, man. A little satisfying. Getting it a little bit more in order here. Nice, I got it to land on a round number. That's how you know you're really doing it good. You're going to be making so much more in your districts after we're done. And that's going to help you to keep ascending and being huge. And that is what we really need. All of this tedium is just for that goal. I don't always keep up with this on my own stuff, by the way. Like, I generally do. But every now and then I'll realize it's been like a week and a half since I've looked at any of it. And then I go, oh yeah, I need to actually play the game. My mistake. Alright, do it. Oh, I went too far. My bad. My bad. I'm trying to do it in a hurry, you know? What can I say? And then we're going to have to do 15,000 of these. You know, just a casual 15,000. It's no problem. You never turned on the arena macro. You got to be careful. There was one guy who actually, like, just got lucky and stunned my guys. And as I came out of stuns, they got lucky and stunned my guys. And I died to a really low-level team. It was sad. They had no business. Clef Math, thank you, and hello. Sorry I'm not looking that much at chat right now. I'm trying to just get through it. You know how it be? Oh, I'm gonna run out of finger juice. I'm running clean out of finger juice. Oh, that's probably actually sounds weird. I shouldn't say that. Never mind. Ignore what I was just saying. Not that. Oh, there's so many. Ah! That's a lot of clicking. Clef Math. You know why it's naughty. We've all been there before. You guys, that's what the clips are going to end up being. Just a bunch of me saying stuff and then realizing, oh, actually, I basically just said porn. My mistake. Books of Learn, hello. Sorry you came in and heard what you heard. I did not mean for it to be the Rage Panda 1 Naughty Hour. I'm just doing a little cleaning up of accounts for some friends of the channel. And Sylvester's being very kind to wait. I try to stay family friendly for the most part. Like, I don't mind saying some naughty words here and there. But I don't want to get canceled. Alright. Gotta give it the speed click. Come on, you can do it. Faster! If there was an Olympic clicker event, I'd probably be, you know, like top 10 in the world or whatever. Like, I'm pretty good at clicking. Please come to server 1502. Well, unfortunately, I am established on 1578, but very soon, we'll both have cross-server guilds, and then we'd be able to play together in the same guild. If that would please you. I think that's a few weeks away, but... Auto-clickers exist? I know, but I don't want to go too far. That's the trick. Therein lies the rub. Is that what you would call clickbait? Oh, I might make him do the rest of these. I'm going to get them all to 1K, and then you're on your own after that. That's like 100 clicks per dude. Thank you. And we're going to be spending a little bit of your gold. And I'm just going to assume control of the account for the moment. And I want you to trust me. Just trust me. Breaking my mouse wasn't the aim. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, normally you do this over multiple sessions over several weeks because you keep up with this stuff. Oh, that was a wet one, Sebesu. Come on, man. I think you might need to wipe. Oh, and right after I made the video about how you shouldn't level hers up, she's already huge. At that point, by the way, you want to just make her mythic, since she's already so close. And then you have more mythic 1-stars that you're shooting out every day that don't cost you anything extra, and that's still fine. In fact, in the late game, when you're like at the very end of the game, and you're not worried that much about marrying that often, it can become a good thing to just have her be mythic anyway. So it's not the end of the world, but it tain't great either. Now, since I can scroll these over and I can take these to 2K, what we're probably going to end up doing is taking these 1-stars to 2K. But then there's also the 3-stars here that go from 1 to 2K. So the rest of these little crowns, tiaras that you've got, I want you to go in and spend them on the least amount that you need to spend to get to the next node. I've heard people say that you get more for getting higher, and so you should just spend it on one person. I still don't agree with that. I haven't seen the hard math on it, and I could be wrong. But I like the way that I've been doing it, and that's what I would recommend sticking with as well. So which one do we have here? Crit rate, I'm glad that you picked that. That's good. Strength resistance is... Strength resistance is okay, but I probably would have went for crit damage. And we also want to be using these when we can use these, so that's what we're going to do. Makes your whole team stronger. It's worth the investment. Worth the investment. Okay. Now on our charm challenge, you are number 1, and you are probably going to win this because nobody else in the face of the world had as much charm saved up as you. So congrats, you're likely to have a tower next week. You are beating this person by like 15,000. That's pretty legit, right? It's too legit. I do want you to spend all of those tiaras, but I do not want to click through 9,000 more things or whatever you had. So, there you go. Now, you might even win this one. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to work on maybe a little district action. No, I need to marry traits on, don't I? I'm not going to have time. Not going to have time, but you do have some bread here that you could use. And I swear if I go and look at your Senate orders and there's 1,000 million of them, I just don't know what I'll do. I just don't know. All right, we're spending that. 443. It is a good idea to keep some of these. And when I say some of these, I mean like 20. You should not keep 443. You should keep like 20 so that when the daily challenges come around, you can definitely finish them. And so what we're going to do is we'll do that. That's what we're going to do. And then to save my tiny little hand, we're going to record a new macro. If I can find my record a macro button. Hello, McFly. Where is my add a macro button? Why am I... Oh, there it is. All right. All right, then we can stop that. Macro 2 settings. We're going to make it go infinitely until I stop it at 5 times speed. And then we just press play. And it's going to spend all of those for you. And now you're going to have plenty of bread. You're going to level up all your districts. And you're going to win that challenge too, probably. Very wrong to spend it on gear. Only bread. Only ever bread. We only do the bread. Oh man, you are a rich man. Very rich. Kind of a hoarder, but but that's okay. That's right, you never go hungry when you always pick bread. Oh my, he literally is going to win the other challenge as well. I'm betting you. Because I'm also going to do carousing, and that's also going to increase his output. We need more than one session, my friend. More than one session indeed. Alright, I'm going to stop it a little early just so I can click the last ones without it freaking out. Then what we do is we go into here, and we click on one of our districts. This one's already maxed out, so we don't have to worry about that. This one looks like it's already maxed out as well. We go to our ones that are not maxed out, and we look for the least expensive one. That's 64 mil. 65 mil. And we try to keep them around that way. It looks like you're doing that already. This one obviously can use a little extra. There we go. Well, it's less bread than I was expecting to be able to use there, but still good. You always go bread. Bread makes money. Gear does not make money. Does not. Yeah, you are definitely rich in the game. Alright. Now we're going to take her up into the realm of mythic territory. Very important. Everybody do this. Everybody do this as soon as possible. Alright, and then we are good. Collect more of those. Lovely. I'm not going to tell you what to spend your Celestial Bond thing on now that you got another mythic one. Personally, I would do crit damage at this point to go with the crit rate. But that's just me. Your air slots must be full. We're going to have to do something about that. Oh, and see, here's the problem. These are all full with really expensive dudes. I'm going to have to turn that off, aren't I? Aren't I? How many would it take? Oh my god, you have almost 3,000! Mate! Alright, well this is going to be slightly inefficient, but since you're good, I'm going to save myself a little time. That's what I'm going to do here. That is crazy. Alright, this is just going to be easier, isn't it? Isn't it? Oh, they want to make me do this one by one because I got it too close. Fine. I can't believe how many resources you have. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Isn't there also... No, it's Districts and Charm. The Air Challenge just finished, didn't it? Yeah, think of all the fun we'll have. Alright, now it's time to frick a Trevane. I can't imagine how many bouquets you must have. This guy. This guy right here, sitting on a wealth of resources in every aspect of the game. I tell you. Alright. I think the quick restore might actually be faster on this one. I could make a macro for this entire process, actually. Which wouldn't be the worst, but I'm not going to do too many. I'm going to do a few. Are you guys impressed with how fast I do that? It's not my first rodeo. I've been down this block a time or two. I know how to handle 8 girls at a time. Or whatever. I mean the same girl 8 times in a row. Obviously. Monogamy is key in this situation. Alright. Oh, the quick cancel. Frame perfect. We're speed running. New world record. Easy. New world record. Kara, hello. Under quick raise, you can select what? You can what? Let me get back to that so I can see what you're talking about. It's important that I learn everything I can learn. Oh, look at that. That's new. Wow. Hot tip. Thank you. I like it a lot. I expected this to be part of the subscription, but I'm glad it's not. Alright, champions. We make sure they're stacked. It makes it so much easier if it's stacked. Now we've got our level 1s, and we get to look for traits that we like. Look at this. This person's awesome. They get to be level 3. A brutal and an energetic. You get to be level 3 as well. This is just the way that I like to do it. A fierce. I'm putting them at level 2 if they only have one trait that I actually want. The confident is nice. The brutal is a little better, but we want level 18 traits if we can manage. Which is why she's only going to be level 2, because there's only one level 18 trait that I care about. Fierce is always a good one. Alright, so she's getting locked right away. She's got level 18 Noble and Confident. We are going to take her into our districts and level her up to whatever you keep your district champions at, and she's going to be probably one of the best people that you have in your entire districts. So we don't change this at all since we can use her. And it's a good idea to have at least 3 of these built up anyway, because she does percent damage against bosses. She doesn't need to have Agile married on, even though that helps her a lot. So you don't need to marry any traits onto her. But when you do your expeditions every day, which I need to make sure that I'm actually keeping up on my own, you want to have one of her in every team except for your main team so that you can get more damage, so that you can get higher on that leaderboard every day and get extra diamonds. That's what you want to do. So having her with Noble and Confident, but also leveled up, helps you in more than one way, was the point of that talk. Getting a lot of fierce here, but not a lot of everything else that I want. I'm going to have to mute it. If this bitch don't shut her mouth. I'm assuming that's the rest of them. Alright. We've got enough to work with here. We've got enough to work with. Yep, she doesn't need Agile married on. It's important because if she was a character where that skill was really good for her, but you had to marry it on, then it would be a little less efficient. But since she doesn't need it married on, it's great because it's just already there and she's already doing everything she needs to do almost, even with no other traits attached in terms of a boss fight. So that's always good. Now, this is probably the guy we want to address first and foremost, these traits are not going to be good. Some people use pure heart, and if you want, I can leave that on there. I don't care. It's fine. But fierce is actually not very good on him. It's okay after you've got the other good traits, but you want to be pumping his strength up more than anything. Now what I really should be doing is pumping up the bear so that you can understand the unstoppable power that we're talking about here. You feel me? That's what we should be doing. But do I want to just reset the Lionstone? I'm sure she's in your districts right now, but getting the extra books would be a big deal. That's for sure. You think the alerts need to be slightly louder? I'm not currently sure how to change that. I could just turn up my desktop audio, which is probably what they're coming out of right now. But I'll cross that bridge a different day. I should look at the traits of all of these main characters. Oh, not great. She probably needs it more than anybody. Those traits are not even high enough level. Alright, what about the Figness? She has athletic where you don't need to get athletic off of you until like level 450. But by that point, you need to get it off of you. So she's at the absolute limit of that being useful. Marriage is holding you back a lot. A lot. What about his traits? What do you got going on, homeboy? At least he's got energetic. At least he's got that much. And what's weird to me is that I see what you're going for with the ambitious. Should you get the Yevnayan companion mythic? I don't think you need to do any of that now. You could just wait for an intimacy event to do any of that stuff. I would probably go for level 22 traits after you get the district champions. You can't have your districts sitting here and having... Well, this one's not too bad, actually. I click on the one that's good. You can't have this going on where you're getting 300, less than 1,000 from each person in your districts. You just can't have that, especially not in the later parts of the game, which you're coming up on. You definitely got to do some work in that regard. And you will. You will. You'll get there. All right. I'm going to marry onto the bear because she's amazing. And let me tell you what, the reason that you probably are thinking that you're getting more from the female Lionstone is because you don't see this. This doesn't show up on a damage meter. You're not aware of how much less damage you're taking or how much more damage the enemy is taking. It doesn't show up or tell you anywhere. And it's not a big spike like the female Lionstone where you instantly notice it. So you're not even going to notice that. On this one, she does a little bit of damage. She does a pull, which is great. But that's not all it does. It reduces the enemy's damage dealt and that whole AoE. And you're not going to see that on the meters either. And you're not going to necessarily feel it, but it's going to make a big difference. And then with this ability, you don't have it leveled up high enough for it to matter. I mean, it's still good in its current state, but the very best thing about it is that it reduces their healing, which is the thing that you need to worry about more than anything else. It's another thing that's not going to show up on the meters. So if you're just looking at the numbers afterwards and saying, well, the bear didn't do very good, that's because all of the benefits that she's bringing your team are not going to show up on the meters. They're still there and happening, and she's doing a great job, but you got to know what you're looking for if you're going to be able to appreciate it. So you got to trust me when I say that this is way better than what you're getting from the gamble of the female Lionstone, because as I've been saying for the past couple of days, when you are using your female Lionstone to attack, it's a lot easier for you to just take advantage of somebody's positioning and put her in a place where she's going to get her ult off, and then maybe half of the time you're getting good results. But when the enemy is attacking you, you're maybe 5 to 10% of the time going to have a good result with your female Lion's Stone, unless you're playing against people who literally just don't know what they're doing. So the defense is just as important as the offense unless all you care about is arena. If all you care about is arena, then maybe the female Lion's Stone could be better in some situations since you're attacking anyway, and then you switch her off when you're done attacking people for the day so you don't get killed on the defense. Not that that's necessarily going to always save you, but yeah, a lot of those things are important. And I haven't been paying too much attention to chat. I apologize. Hi, Ray. How are you? You reached 300 stones. Nice. You may not get the companion. What level is your highest level champion right now? I can give you a better answer if you tell me that. Brendan, hello. What traits are good for the male bear? I like the bruiser build, which is brutal, aggressive, steadfast, and honorable, usually, because you're usually running with a healer. If you're not running with a healer, then you want energetic. That's what I would say for that. I do have a video that has more than one build for that guy, so you can also find that information there. Her energy recovery is very low, and I feel like that's a glitch. I'm not sure if that's a glitch or not, but I kind of feel like it is. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Not sure. But I do think that increasing her energy recovery is a good play, unless you're fighting against a bunch of people that have the Bulko Sprite, and then it's not quite as good. Not quite as good. Sylvester, you have to go in 40 minutes? I will check your team. I won't marry anything on just a second. Okay. Since I'm trying to keep this short, since my voice is kind of in shambles right now, I want to leave you with some missions. One of the missions is to figure out marriage. I don't think that you need to wait for an event where you're benefiting from doing all of this marriage in order to spend your stuff to do the marriage. If you want to wait and do it when there's some challenge where you get an extra benefit from it, then I get it and it's fine, and I'm not going to be hating on that too much. But at the very latest, when that challenge comes around, you need to get this stuff in order. You really need to get this stuff in order. And I don't care if you go with the female Lion's Stone or if you go with the bear. I think you're messing up if you go with the female Lion's Stone, but that's just one man's opinion. Admittedly, she's a tiny bit stronger when you're using her with the female Water and Sun, unless his ultimate works based on snapshot damage, and if that's the case, then she's still completely useless. And for people that don't know what that means, when you activate a skill in many games, it will take a snapshot of your stats. And when it takes a snapshot of your stats, it doesn't matter what changes or what buffs you get or buffs you lose. While you're doing that ability, it's going to use the stats that you had when you started doing that ability. Maybe somebody has tested it, and maybe they've seen the damage difference and they have video proof that it does not work like that. And if it doesn't work like that, then that's great. If you can apply the buff halfway through the ultimate and then the rest of the ultimate gets it, it's a much better combo. I don't personally have the data on that to be able to tell you, and if somebody can get a video of it, then it'll help us all be a little better at the game. So it's really up to you if you want to keep her, but the reason that you're thinking that she's better is because you can just see what she's doing more easily on the screen, whereas the bear is not so easy. Also, when it comes to fighting against people, I don't know if you got any arena tickets that I can use here. Plenty. Plenty. How strong is our team? How strong is this team? Well, that team's probably too strong. Probably too strong. Although, I don't know if I love their comp. I'm not sure that I love their comp. That's for sure. She's just going to heal a lot, and then that's annoying. You still got this guy in the middle, which I don't I don't love either. I'm not going to go against such a strong team to try to prove my point. This is probably better. Everybody's using the same stuff. Alright, so we want to be able to have anti-heal, and we want to be able to hit that onto this guy. That's like a main goal. So we want her to be over there. And if we're lucky, he's still going to be back there. These guys will charge this direction. She would charge here in most circumstances. And then when she does her pull to yank somebody else in, usually it'll be one of the back two, and then we hope that it's the male Water and Sun, and if it is, it's better. I think that in this team that we're using, we want to group the enemies more. So we actually want her to be over here. And we could, if we really wanted to try to draw them over, we could put her all the way back here. And that would be totally fine. The only downside is that the female Lionstone might come over this direction, and then we might have our damage going all the way over here. We mitigate that by keeping it like this. And I think that's probably fine. So then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be reducing the damage of Birdo with our active skill on her. We're going to be creating a whole bunch of anti-heal, especially on the Water and Sun. And hopefully we're going to be pulling in the Water and Sun, which will then get hit by some of the CC from our rest of our team. So I don't know if that's going to work or not, but we're going to try it. The problem is I want to be able to crowd control this, and I feel like I need a better direct way of doing that. But I also need it to be going in the opposite side, which is why they have it set up this way. So we have to make a choice. But I feel like we could win this battle. The only real thing that makes me feel like we're going to lose is that we don't have traits. The real problem is who should be in the second slot. I don't think that's a problem at all. I think that what's probably happening is you're doing these fights and then you're losing these fights and you're saying, well, my team is super close to them. Why am I losing these fights? Or maybe even a team that's slightly lower than you and you lose the fight. And the reason you're losing the fight is because they have 40% more health than you do, at least 40% more strength than you do, and they have all these other traits that are set up to make their team way better, and you have traits on your guys that are doing literally no good at all. That's why you're losing. It doesn't have to do with the champions at all. So this could work. You could win this, but I don't think you will, and I think the reason that you won't is because of the traits. So let's just do the fight, and then we'll see how close we get. Our main goal is to try to pull in the stupid guy, but we got the other one, which is fine. We're getting some good grouping. Some good damage done. He might just pull it out. Nice. And that's what I'm talking about, because when they started to try to heal those people that came up... Where's my replay? Here's my replay. Alright. Now what you're going to see is these guys all come up, we pull in the other one, right? Everybody is stuck in here, and everybody's getting anti-heal put on them. So the active skill goes out from their Water and Sun, and almost no healing happens. So he doesn't have time to make it to be able to do his ult, because we're stopping the previous healing from even mattering. Now imagine if you had that team, but your traits were in order, and everything was 40% stronger. And more. So I think you're going to be fine. You are making a mistake if the concern that you have is whether or not people are getting buffed by your spider. I don't care. If nobody gets buffed by your spider, that's fine. But likely, maybe in this situation, you miss one or two of your people. That is not nearly as important as the actual positioning and who you're targeting with your anti-heal and who you're actually pulling in and trying to kill. That's way more important than just trying to get those buffs. So you forget about that buff. We don't care about that buff. For all I care, I hope that web goes on the enemy team. It doesn't matter. That's your best positioning in that fight. I'm not going to do another fight right now because I need to get to Sevesu's. But when I come into this battle, for instance, I see my water and sun over here. Well, now I want her to be over there because I want to be increasing my chances of pulling this guy, and I want to be increasing my chances of causing anti-heal in his direction because I want this guy dead. I don't care about anybody else. Anybody else on their team doesn't matter. I love to shut down a female Lionstone. That's useful to me, but she's not winning the fight. The water and sun is winning the fight, and this is countering that. So you have to move your team around based on who you're fighting. You can't just set it up one way and then call it good. I think that your team is strong, and I think that realistically you could make either one of them work. I don't think that the female Lionstone is at all better. What you're seeing usually probably is that they didn't get a chance to try to heal at all when the female Lionstone works, and then it was fine. You're not seeing the defense rounds where you're going to lose on defense because you're using her, and you're not seeing the statistics show up on the screen that are going to prove to you how good the bear is, but the bear is super good. And that's what constantly happens. Like, I'm not picking on you here. Everybody does that. Everybody does that. They look at what shows up on the after action report and they don't care about any of the other statistics or effects that are happening. And that's why in the early game, people like the Elzadeth crew, they were bad originally because crit and attack speed were both broken, and that made these characters broken. After that was fixed, these characters were incredible for a long time, and nobody touched them because you don't get to see the benefits of things like reducing attack speed and all this other stuff. And you don't, you don't necessarily see the effects of their fearsome trait making a bunch of work happen either. So I might have to come back in and help guide you through some of the marriage. You need to start producing mythic Trevains. I think you're fine also because you're so close to make your Sallyhorn companion mythic as well. And you're halfway there on the Griffin. Like, you don't really need to wait for the intimacy event to just take those all to mythic. Take this one, start producing traits. We gotta fix the marriage. Now, I'm gonna switch to Sevesu's account. I would have done more on your account, even though I just played on it for an hour. I am interested in helping fix the account, and I think that you got an idea of what we need to work on here. We need to fix our districts so that they're very strong. That's very important. And more than anything else, we need to get the marriage taken care of, even though it's annoying to do. So let me log into Sevesu here. Sevesu, you're probably going to get kicked out of your game. And my apologies for that. But that's what we're doing. Clef, I might start... If people are interested in this sort of content, then maybe I'll start doing it for people. But if the masses find it to be boring and tedious, then I don't think it's going to be super helpful. But, you know, I'm always happy to help. All right, so you've gotten some new mythics, and we need to see what we can use and how to make them strong. Very happy to see the Acuna here. We want to beef him up as much as possible. That's step number one. Step number one. If you're wondering why he has this big male Lux, it's because it's providing a crazy value in his districts right now. Very good to have that the way he has it. Now, for the female Acuna, I'm not sure that I would invest into her right now. I like her. I think she's great. I think in the right teams, she's going to literally start one-shotting people. I'm not exaggerating. She is literally capable of starting to one-shot people. Somebody in the Discord posted a video of a super heal team with a couple of Galabars, a male Water and Sun, and I think a Spider and something else. And if you had the female Acuna on that team, and she was constantly getting healed to full, she produces her shield based on her current health, not her current max health. If she did that, she'd be wildly overpowered. But You could, theoretically, in a perfect world, double her health every 5 seconds if the world was working the best the world could work. It's never going to be that good. But if you're doubling her health every 10 seconds, you are absolutely going to be crushing people 30 seconds into the battle. She goes from being not doing that much damage, the shields are nice and whatever, to literally demolishing an entire team. That's just how she works. So, unfortunately, the way that your account is right now and the way that my account is right now, we don't have the heals to support that, and that's why I don't think that you should invest in her at this time. But you should be happy that you have her for when you can invest in her later, because she's going to be really good in those situations, and I can't wait till I have the chance to do that. Giuseppe, no problem, buddy. I'm always happy to help. Especially, I feel like I'm a pretty good judge of character, and if I can tell that somebody's a good guy, I'm more inclined to want to help them. So I feel like you're a good guy, and I feel like you deserve it. So that's why I stopped what I was doing and decided to come help you out. Oh, our male bear, what do we got here? I'm actually fine with the confident. The honorable is also good. Surprisingly, Scrappy is still not good. I know you're all sad to hear it, but Scrappy will probably never be good. Hexproof could actually see some use, but it's not something I would put on your guy. Once you get to Mary Traits on, we'll fix that. But he's actually very solid right now. Definitely invest into this guy. Make him huge. Make him as big as you can possibly make him. Now, since we're making the male Akuna as big as possible, and we're making the male Bjorn Krieger as big as possible, it's a good idea to also be making your female Tidestorm as big as possible. Let me see which one is better here. I like the energetic. I like the athletic for your level. Those are both really good. I'm not sure about the cutthroat. Energetic, honorable, fierce. This is the one right here. We're going to lock her. We're going to keep this one. And I think that the athletic is super good. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think it's as good as having all of this, because she's going to live forever. And these are all fairly usable traits. Tenacious. I mean, I don't know about all of that. But she's going to be very tanky and do a lot of damage. And the reason that I want her on the team, not only because she's a mythic that you've got, which is really strong, but she does extra normal attack damage when people are suffering from negative effects, which is great. But also, we're running a male bear who constantly is putting negative effects on the entire enemy team. So your normal attacks are just always going to do double damage on her. Just always. Also, since he's pushing people, and his damage doesn't care if somebody's being pushed, it doesn't matter that she's pushing people. So it would be nice if we had a better male Aeus in here that we could put in. Unfortunately, you don't, but that's okay. I do think that the male Zace could be interesting. Female Ignis as well. What would be great is if I unstacked these actually and sorted by rarity. I do want to see more mythics, as I'm sure you do as well. But you can't always get what you want. So we need somebody else to be doing frontline, and with 2 people pushing, the female bear stops being quite as good. But she might just still be the answer here. It's probably more than likely just still the answer here. She's way better than any of the other options that we start with. So even though we're going to run 2 people who are doing pushback, let me just do a roster. Let's just do a roster, shall we? So when I run these 2, I run them on separate sides, and I think that that's somewhat important to do. And when we run her, we're going to try to keep her on the side of this guy, since she's already pushing anyway. There's a chance that she'll push in this direction, and it'll be less likely to dick over our female bear. That's always good. The male Akuna being behind her is very strong, because he will... I actually prefer for her to be in the 1 slot. It's a minor improvement, but it is an improvement. So I would go for something like that for now. You could potentially get away with doing the female Lux here, I wouldn't invest too much into her. But if you were going to invest into her, you would want to put her behind your female Tidestorm to increase the attack speed, which would make you do more normal attacks that are doing double damage. So that's always good. But also, male Yiv could be really strong here. Male Yiv doesn't really care if people are pushed around or if they're together. He goes off and does sort of his own thing, which can be dangerous and can lead to him getting in trouble. But the fact of the matter is, you've got your male Bjorn Krieger here who's going to jump into the back and help him when he needs it. So that's probably... God, I always hit the mouse button. It's a good thing I don't have anything untoward on that screen. Otherwise, it could get a little weird. I think that's probably going to be my final answer. Female Ignis, again, would be really good. But you're a very new account, and getting materials to actually level people up can be tricky. So, I like having the male Yiv here. I would accept female Ignis as also being a super viable option. And if you want to do female Ignis, you should probably just look at what materials you have for ascending people and what things you don't mind getting rid of. And then that'll be a great way to stay in shape. I'll save that roster so you can remember what I was saying. I'm not saying that this is the ultimate best roster in the game. It's pretty good. It's pretty solid. It's got great things all over the place. And for the teams that you'll be fighting, they'll probably be very sad and unhappy that the male Yiv is coming around canceling out that Lionstone ult. And doing all of that good stuff. Is there anything else, Savesu, that you wanted me to look at before I hit the bricks and get my video posted? I know that's pretty quick, but... Giuseppe says if it was possible, I'd give you my legendary alias. And yeah, he's a good boy. He is a good boy. Mostly invested in her for district. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. What's your district at now? 22k? Solid. Also, I see that you've started to level these up to the next multiple of 5, and I like that. Keep that up. Good work, homie. Snagga says, really the only good thing about Lux is the district. F-Lux has her little shenanigans. Yeah. Snagga wants me to figure out why his team can barely beat mine. I'm just really good at the game, man. I don't know, probably luck. I got no idea. Maybe my traits are just really cool. It could be one of those. Could be one of those. All right, are you... Oh, you don't have these in your guild yet. Sad. Sad and unfortunate. All right, I dropped what I was doing just so I could come in and look at a couple people's accounts and just, I don't know, help any way that I could. If you like to see me digging through people's accounts and making changes and that's fun content for you, then you're going to have to let me know that you're a big fan of it. And then maybe I could do some more of it with the more high energy and more jokes and entertainment. I feel like I was just going through doing work there, but that's really what I was here to do. So for now, I want to thank you guys for watching. I have been Rage Panda 1, and I will see you in the next one.